Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we're looking at yet 10 more football records that don't look like they will ever be broken. 10. Oldest goalkeeper at the World Cup. The average age for a professional footballer to retire is 35 years old. While the medical marvel that is CR7 is only 2 years off that milestone, we generally expect players to head for less competitive leagues once they hit their third decade. However, at 45 years and 161 days old, Al-Hadari proved that you don't need to have youth on your side to be playing at the very top level after he appeared at the 2018 Russian World Cup, becoming the oldest player ever to do so. Making just one start, the Egyptian lined up between the sticks following their losses to Uruguay and Russia, meaning they were already half on the flight home. Although he had already conceded Saudi Arabia's first goal of the competition, saving a penalty in the Pharaohs' 2-1 defeat was described as the best moment to hang up his gloves. After winning 4 African Cup of Nations, making his debut in 1996 and earning 159 caps for Egypt, the High Dam retired from international football. 9. Fastest hat-trick. Earlier this season, we were stunned by Mbappe's outrageous 4 goals in 13 minutes against Lille in Ligue 1. And in previous Unbreakable Records lists, we've discussed Robert Lewandowski's obscene 5 strikes in 9 minutes. This time, though, we've delved down the English tiers to find the fastest ever hat-trick, and holding that prestigious record is James Hayter. Never heard of him? Well, that's because his footballing highlight is Bournemouth, having also played for Yeovil Town and Havant and Waterlooville. And in 2004, while on the south coast, his name hit the headlines for a performance against fellow championship side Wrexham. Coming on in the 84th minute, it took Hayter just 2 minutes to score twice before grabbing the match ball with a strike in the 88th, meaning that he goes into the records book with a virtually unbreakable 141-second hat-trick. Blimey. 8. Losing streak. Next up, we have the most miserable record in football, held by the much-ridiculed Jack Rodwell. Once in a spotlight similar to Jadon Sancho's right now, Rodwell was given his first international cap at 20 years old and was predicted to be a future Three Lions captain, before he became potentially England's biggest waste of talent. Starting as part of Everton's youth academy, the Englishman cemented himself in the Toffees senior squad in 2009. He then earned a switch to Manchester City for £15 million in 2012, but made just 7 starts in 4 years after being plagued with injury. He probably thought his career had hit an all-time low. But unfortunately for the former Wonder Kid, things went from bad to worse when he became a black cat in 2014. Having battled off physical and mental burdens, Rodwell got back into the starting lineup. But for the 39 games he started consecutively, Sunderland lost every single one, becoming the longest losing streak any professional has ever suffered. Lasting 1,368 days, Rodwell finally recorded a win as part of the side that dispatched Sam Allardyce's Crystal Palace 4-0. But the positive vibes didn't last long, as Rodwell was injured in the very same match, putting him straight back to square one. 7. Most saves in a Premier League game. The 2017-18 campaign was a near disaster for Jose Mourinho, who not only saw his United team drop in quality, but had to endure the overwhelming success of Manchester rivals Man City and his personal foe, Pep Guardiola. Manchester United finished the term in second place, 19 points behind the champions, but in reality they should have been even lower. In fact, given expected goals conceded, Manchester United should have been out of the Champions League spots. XP gave them 62 for the season, with their actual tally sitting at 81, meaning they finished 4 spaces higher than they should have. And there's no surprise that that's pretty much entirely down to the Spaniard between the sticks who had the season of his life. And De Gea's finest 90 minutes came against Arsenal at the Emirates. He turned into a one-man spiderweb in goal, making 14 saves, the most any stopper has made in a single Premier League game. He denied the home team what could have been a 6-3 win, and we somehow saw United leave 3-1 victors. According to recent reports, De Gea wants out of Old Trafford, and maybe Jose should show his thanks for 2018 and let him go, although that doesn't seem very likely. 6. Quickest to reach 300 goals. Leo Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo pretty much dominate the footballing record books with their total dominance over the past decade, the only players able to beat each other's landmarks themselves. However, the one record we're homing in on is CR7's road to 300 La Liga goals. The Real Madrid star reached the tally in just 286 games, 48 games fewer than the Argentinian maestro, and we can't imagine anyone ever doing it any quicker. Only 2 players have ever reached that total, the other obviously being Messi. Ronaldo ended his career in La Liga with an average of a goal every 81 minutes and the silver place in the league's all-time top goal scorers, again behind Leo. Real Madrid's record scorer with 436 goals in 426 matches, it seems physically impossible that anyone will go above him in Madrid, let alone reach that 300 milestone in fewer games, proving just how freakishly talented in front of goal the Portuguese star is. 5. Most consecutive wins in the Premier League. The 2003-04 Premier League season goes down as Arsenal's most famous campaign, as Arsene Wenger's league winners went all season without a loss, a feat that's never been matched since. However, the 17-18 term saw Pep Guardiola break numerous Prem records as his City side earned 100 points for the first time in history, won the league by the largest margin, and scored the most goals ever seen in one campaign. However, arguably their most impressive feat was their winning run of 18 games, which beats Chelsea's previous record by 5 matches. While the 2018-19 season looks more competitive, with Chelsea and Liverpool looking more like title contenders, it's hard to imagine that either Klopp or Sarri will be able to dominate the Premier League in the same way. Just goes to prove that Pep's philosophy has well and truly made its mark in English football. 4. Most Premier League matches managed. Pep Guardiola might have managed to bring his style of play extremely successfully to the Premier League and broken countless records in the process, but Arsene Wenger holds one record that not even the Johan Cruyff student will be able to touch. On the 28th of December 2017, Wenger bypassed the record set by his former rival Sir Alex Ferguson as the Frenchman managed his 811th Premier League game. Having coached the Gunners for 22 years, he stepped down as the Arsenal head coach at the end of the 2017-18 campaign after standing on the touchline for a whopping 828 Premier League games, 18 more than Fergie. Arsene's record-breaking fixture came 7,751 days after his first ever Premier League game. During that time, he oversaw the switch from the 38,000-seated Highbury to the 60,000-capacity Emirates Stadium, a move massively overlooked by the majority of Gooners. A drop in spend but none in expectation forced the Gunners to give up title challenges for fourth spot fights. But given the similar switches at Atleti, Dortmund and a cancelled attempt at Chelsea, Wenger didn't do too bad keeping them in Europe. Wenger led his sides to 468 Prem wins, 198 draws and 145 defeats, giving him a win percentage of 57.7%. Not bad at all. While his disappointing final seasons may have clouded his legacy, with the average manager in England lasting just 1.2 years, it's clear that Wenger was the last of a now extinct breed. 3. Longest goal ever. Current Bournemouth keeper Asmir Begovic probably expected his proudest moment in a football jersey would have come when he moved to West London to join Chelsea and lifted the Premier League trophy for the 2016-17 campaign. However, it was during his 6-season stint in Stoke that the Bosnia and Herzegovina vice-captain wrote his name in the record books. Begovic's name is now in the Guinness Book of World Records after he scored the longest goal in footballing history against Southampton. The 27-year-old scored from a long kick in the 1-1 draw in November 2013, hitting the strike from 91.9 metres out, bouncing over opposite keeper Artur Boric and into the Saints' net. Only Peter Schmeichel, Brad Friedel, Paul Robertson and Tim Howard are stoppers who have managed to hit the back of the net from their own goal in the Premier League. But we can't really see the right conditions for another wonder strike like Begovic's. 2. Most penalty misses in one game. Argentina have won more World Cup penalty shootouts than any other nation. However, the winning mentality clearly doesn't run all the way through other international competitions. In 1999, in a Copa America game versus Colombia, Martin Palermo infamously missed 3 penalties. A hat-trick of penalty misses in one game is a nightmarish situation for any player, so we're hoping that this record will remain unbroken. However, things came scarily close in a 2016-17 Premier League game. Bournemouth missed 2 penalties versus West Ham, almost matching Palermo's disastrous output. The Argentinian remains the master of the penalty miss, but it's a stat that unfortunately masks his rather impressive scoring record. Palermo played in both Spain and Argentina, netting 249 goals in 592 games over a 19-year career. And in 15 international appearances, his 9-goal tally gives him the average of 0.6 goals per game, despite his penalty pains. 1. Most clubs. With South America providing us plenty of footballing record breakers, it's maybe unsurprising that the next name forcing its way into the Guinness World Record books is from Uruguay. The living embodiment of a journeyman, Sebastian Abreu holds the record for most clubs played for by one player. When the 41-year-old striker joined second division Chilean side Magallanes in the summer of 2018, they became the 27th team he had played for. Having debuted in 1994 playing for Primera Division side Defensor in his home nation, a 24-year professional career has seen him travel to 11 different countries, ranging from Spain and Israel to Argentina and El Salvador. And his most lethal stint was in Mexico's top flight, when he scored 34 in 39 games for Cruz Azul. Meanwhile, his record transfer fee was paid by Beitar Jerusalem in 2008 when they spent €1 million to take him from Mexican side Tigre. And since then, all 20 of his subsequent moves have been either free transfers or loan spells. So far, his move to Magallanes has started well, with 4 appearances seeing him net 2 goals. And while his consistent scoring rate begs us to ask why he is forced to move teams near enough every year, the Uruguayan is definitely an agent's dream. So that was another 10 impossible football records. Was there any we missed out? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this, why not click on screen right now for more great content? And as always, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.